Have you ever heard that a perfect cup of tea can solve any problem? Well, in a quiet little suburb of London, there lived a woman named Mrs. Patel, and her tea was legendary. Seriously, the whole neighborhood believed it had magical, problem-solving powers. So, when Mrs. Patel announced she was hosting a small tea gathering, you can imagine the excitement. Everyone was eager to get a taste of this famous brew. The day arrived. The kettle was whistling, and the aroma of freshly steeped tea filled the air. Her neighbors started trickling in, each with their own little problem they hoped the tea might fix. There was young Sarah, worried about her exams, and the new family on the block, feeling a bit lonely. And then there was Mr. Thompson, the famously grumpy bloke from down the street who rarely cracked a smile. A shuffled in, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. As the guests mingled, anticipating that first perfect sip, disaster struck. Mr. Thompson, in a classic grumpy person move, wasn't looking where he was going and bang. He bumped right into the tea table. The kettle went flying, and hot brown tea splashed all over Mrs. Patel's prized, cream-colored carpet. A collective gasp echoed through the room. You could cut the tension with a knife. Everyone stared, horrified, first at the giant brown stain, then at Mr. Thompson, who looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. This was Italiano, the moment the legendary tea party turned into a neighborhood feud. But then, the most unexpected thing happened. Instead of getting angry or upset, Mrs. Patel let out a hearty laugh. A real, genuine belly laugh. She looked at the mess, then at a mortified Mr. Thompson, and said, with a twinkle in her eye, "Well, I guess the tea was just eager to meet the carpet." For a second, everyone was just stunned. Then, a few nervous chuckles rippled through the group. And just like that, the tension vanished. Seeing the humor in the situation, something amazing began to unfold. Without a single word being said, people sprang into action. Mrs. Patel grabbed some towels. The quiet elderly couple, who usually just kept to themselves, were suddenly on their hands and knees, dabbing at the spill. Even the kids, who had been bored in a corner, ran to get sponges. And Mr. Thompson, for the first time anyone could remember, his grumpy facade melted away. He was right there in the thick of it, trying to help clean up the mess he'd caused. The whole scene was pure chaos. They were using the wrong claws, getting in each other's way, and probably making the stain even bigger. But it didn't matter, because they were all laughing. Genuinely, side-splittingly laughing. The living room, once a stage for a potential disaster, had transformed into a whirlwind of teamwork and unexpected joy. By the time they were done, the carpet was still damp. The tea was all gone. But something much more valuable had been created. A real sense of community. The neighbors weren't just people living on the same street anymore. They were a team. They had shared a moment, a mishap, and a whole lot of laughter. As the evening wound down, even Mr. Thompson managed a small, genuine smile. He looked at Mrs. Patel and admitted, "You know, maybe your tea really does solve problems. Or maybe I just need to stop being so grumpy and start drinking more of it." The story of the great tea disaster didn't stay within those four walls. It spread like wildfire on local social media. Soon, there were memes of spilled teacups, with captions like "brewing up community spirit." Pictures of the laughing neighbors became a symbol for the whole town. It was a funny, heartwarming reminder that sometimes it's the unexpected messes, the little disasters, that bring us closer together. It turns out, Mrs. Patel's tea did solve a problem that day. It didn't fix Sarah's exam worries or instantly cure loneliness, but it brewed something far stronger and more lasting: friendship. So, what do you think? Have you ever had a disaster turn into a surprisingly wonderful memory? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tales that warm the heart. Thanks for watching.